Since Keanu Reeves first hit Hollywood like a cool breeze in the 80s, he saved humanity from robot slavery, kept a doomed bus from exploding, and even made out with Paula Abdul.
Whoa.
But even though Reeves is a pretty prolific actor, he remains far more enigmatic than many other celebrities, until now. Here are some things you may not know about Keanu Reeves. Bard brain. Thanks to his roles as Dumb Guy Ted in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Dumb Guy Todd in Parenthood, Reeves was in danger of being typecast in the early 90s.
Now what?
That's why it was something of a surprise when Kenneth Branagh cast Reeves as Don John in his 1993 screen adaptation of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. But Reeves had actually been performing Shakespeare for years, dating back to a 1985 production of Romeo and Juliet at a Toronto theatre school. And My Own Private Idaho was based on Shakespeare's works. How much does he love Shakespeare? He turned down a $12 million offer to star in Speed 2 so that he could play Hamlet in a stage production in Manitoba, Canada. Now that's love.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace.
Haunted by a jacket? While living in the New York area, young Reeves encountered what can only be described as a ghost. Ghost jacket, anyway. There's really no explanation, so let's just have Keanu tell the tale himself.
There's a doorway. All of a sudden, we're looking over there, and this jacket comes waving through the doorway. Just an empty, there's no head, there's no body, there's no legs, it's just there, and then it disappears. And I was a little kid, and I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. And then I looked over at the nanny, and she's like this.
Whoa. He can't quit smoking. While smoking is often a youthful indiscretion, Reeves was well into adulthood before he picked up the habit. He says he started doing it on the set of the 1996 comedy Feeling Minnesota, because his character was a smoker, and then he just got hooked. He's called smoking a prison that he'd love to quit, but can't. Personal tragedies. Reeves endured multiple heartbreaking tragedies in rapid succession. He met actress and production assistant Jennifer Sim in 1998, and the two fell in love. In 1999, Sim and Reeves were expecting a child together, but when Sim was almost full term, doctors discovered the baby had passed away. The stress of the loss of the child contributed to the demise of their relationship. Less than 2 years later, while driving home from a party at Marilyn Manson's house in Los Angeles, Sim was killed in a single car accident. She was only 28 years old. Charity work. Reeves is very close with his sister, Kim Reeves, who was diagnosed with leukemia in the 90s. Filming on The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions was reportedly delayed so Keanu could spend more time with his sister and help nurse her back to health. In Kim's honour, Keanu has donated huge amounts of his time and money to cancer charities, hospitals and research facilities.
I have a foundation that does some, it's mostly directed towards, healthcare.
And he also works with organisations like the Sick Kids Foundation and Stand Up to Cancer. Film crew favourite. While negotiating his contract for the 2 Matrix sequels, Reeves scored a bunch of back-end points, meaning he'd make a portion of the movie's box office take in addition to a salary. Instead of taking all the cash for himself, Reeves diverted the money to the Matrix trilogy's costume and special effects teams, essentially donating millions so the movies could be completed after the production nearly ran out of cash. He also bought each of the trilogy's 12 stuntmen a Harley Davidson. His way of saying thanks. Pay cuts. If Reeves really wants to work with an actor he admires, he isn't above foregoing a portion of his usual salary to help make it happen. He reportedly did exactly that so that he could star in The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino and in The Replacements with Gene Hackman.
What's it gonna be, Shane? I want the ball. Winners always do.
Motorcycle man. Reeves loves motorcycles so much that he started his own business, the Arch Motorcycle Company, whose signature product is the Arch Motorcycle KR GT1. Designed and built with his friend and Arch co-founder, bike architect Gar Horlinger, the custom-built superbikes have 2 V-twin engines and cost $78,000 each. Rad Keanu. Reeves has often been an inspiration for memes, viral pictures, and the overall delight of the internet. Among the most famous, a viral video of Keanu giving up his subway seat to someone who needed it more. Then there's this uncanny 16th century painting from the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, Italy, which seems to suggest that Keanu is actually a time traveller himself. And of course, there's the infamous Sad Keanu meme, which actually made Keanu kind of sad, but not that sad.
I mean, do I wish that I didn't get my picture taken and while I was eating a sandwich on the streets of New York? Yeah.
Not quite the Wyld Stallyns. Shortly after the release of the Bill and Ted movies, Reeves formed a garage band called Dogstar in his actual garage.
I played in a band called Dogstar, and we made a couple of albums. I played electric bass.
At their first gig, an up-and-coming band called Weezer was their opening act, and Dogstar even played The Tonight Show. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos like the one you just saw, and leave us a comment and let us know which fact about Keanu Reeves surprised you the most.